In May 2019, Ethiopia hosted the global celebrations for World Press Freedom Day in Addis Ababa, marking a hopeful moment for press freedom under Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. His rise to power brought promises of ending repression, freeing imprisoned journalists, and welcoming back exiled news outlets. However, this optimism was short-lived. In 2020, war erupted between Abey's forces and Tigray's local rulers, leading to severe restrictions on journalists and a communication blackout in Tigray. The government justified these actions as necessary for national security, labeling Tigray rebels as terrorists. The conflict, which lasted 2 years, resulted in the deaths of approximately 600,000 people and widespread sexual violence. Ethiopia's press freedom ranking plummeted from 110th to 145th globally, with mass arrests and detentions of media workers. Journalists face severe threats, both online and physical, forcing many into exile. Despite the end of the Tigray war, media restrictions persist amid ongoing conflicts in other regions. Ethiopia remains one of the worst countries in Africa for jailing journalists, with several killed and many independent outlets shut down. Mathoki Mumo, the Committee to Protect Journalists, CPJ, Sub-Saharan Africa representative, highlights how Ethiopian authorities frequently use anti-terror and hate speech laws, along with state of emergency provisions, to suppress critical reporting and detain journalists on vague charges. This tactic has led to indefinite investigations and a climate of fear among media workers. In 2021, Amir Aman Kiaro, a freelance videographer for the Associated Press, was detained at his home in Addis Ababa after reporting on a rebel group in Oromia. Despite being held for 4 months, he was never charged, though state media accused him of collaborating with terrorists. Amir reflects on his experience, noting that he was vilified simply for doing his job as an independent journalist. The situation for journalists in Ethiopia remains dire. Recently, 7 journalists from the Ethiopian Broadcast Service were detained after airing a controversial report. The woman featured in the report later recanted her allegations, leading to accusations of terrorism against the journalists. Saidale Lema, founder of the independent media outlet Addis Standard, describes the pervasive fear and self-censorship among journalists. She recounts multiple instances of harassment and detention of her staff, including a raid on their office and the assault of a manager. Despite these challenges, Saidale remains committed to her work, though she acknowledges the constant threat to press freedom. As Ethiopia approaches its 2026 general election, there are growing concerns about further crackdowns on independent media. An editor fears that if the current trend continues, there will be no independent media left in the country. The Ethiopian government has previously defended its actions by accusing independent media of partisanship and failing to adhere to journalistic ethics. However, the ongoing repression and threats against journalists paint a grim picture of press freedom in Ethiopia.